Welcome back to the Sims 4 Medieval Mini Builds. Today we are working on a cottage slash middle class type of building. I had a lot of trouble figuring out how I wanted to do this, but I figured that I would kind of go off the idea that they were peasants before and that they've slowly managed to build up the cottage over time to be something a little bit better. They added like an addition onto it next to the pond, that type of thing. For those just joining in, the Medieval mini-series is leading up to a challenge that I would like to start up on this channel called the Decades Challenge. Now, for the Decades Challenge, I will be following Kosmic Hippie's rules for it, so I'll link that down below so that way you guys can see what the rules are. As I'm going through, I really wanted to make the world seem very medieval looking, and I wanted to make sure that everyone kind of matched the theme. So I am using a lot of mods and such in that. That's not going to be shown in this video, and I'm not using CC to create my builds anymore. I did for my first one I created, but not this one. So basically, as we're going through it, I'm just slowly converting Henford-On-Bagley into a medieval area. If you guys are curious about the other builds that I've done, feel free to go through the playlist I created for the Mini Medieval series. As you go through it, there is right now a part 1 for the castle that I created and a farmer's hall for all of the farmer peasant sims. That being said, please wait till the end of this video, and if you enjoy it and want to continue watching more of the series, please make sure to like and subscribe, like the video and subscribe to me if you want to keep following it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So for this particular family, I decided that they do have a horse. The reason I decided this is because one of the family members works as a farrier. Basically, they work a lot with horses, and I decided that it would add to the storyline that they would just have their own horse already, and that maybe they have worked as a farrier for a while, so they already had a horse all grown up and everything. So that is why there's a stables attached to this house, even though I normally wouldn't think to add a stables onto more of a middle class type house. As we're going through this, I had already created the family that's going to live here at this point, so I knew that the mother was a big cook, and I thought that the son, who was the one that pretty much raised them more towards that middle class field, is the one that made this add-on more so for their parents. So I made sure it was a big kitchen because she's supposed to really like cooking and baking, and she just has never been able to actually make money off of the cooking and baking. So there's a nice big kitchen for her in here, and there's a nice big dining room. And in the other side, I kind of have a little representative of how the house used to look with a smaller kitchen. So I do want to kind of place a little disclaimer in here. I don't actually know how the middle class would have lived in the Middle Ages. I mean, I haven't done a lot of research in terms of even if there was that big of a middle class that I should really be including them in the series. However, I did just enjoy the idea, and to a certain extent, I will kind of warn you with my Decades Challenge. I will definitely be including a lot of the challenges and such that's going on within the Decades Challenge, but I am going to put my twist on it. It's a little bit more magical than history would actually be, and it's a little bit, not completely following American history. So this is whenever I start getting more into whenever they were peasants. They have a little bit nicer furniture, but like the walls, the counters, the stove, everything is meant, or sorry, not the stove, the fireplace, everything is meant to look a little bit more run down than the rest of the house, including this rug that I found. So it's meant to be kind of an odd mixture of whenever they were peasants and them slowly kind of coming up in the world and like changing out furniture, making better furniture choices, things like that. Okay, so we are now getting into the room, so I'm gonna go ahead and give a brief kind of explanation of how they came up in the world. So they have 2 children and they're twins. There is a brother and a sister. The brother has the opportunity and takes the opportunity to become a knight for the Royal Guard. Now, During all of this, as he's slowly making his way up the food chain a little bit and has managed to give his family more money because of this, the sister is upset because she dreams of becoming a knight. She wants to become a knight so badly. She hates that she's a farrier. She hates that she's the one that has to go work with the horses. She wants to go fight and be a part of the kingdom's knights very badly, but she cannot because of the time frame that this is meant to be put in. I enjoyed the idea that maybe there was a bit of jealousy towards the brother as well, and I tried to theme a lot of the rooms towards that idea as well. As we're moving upstairs, I actually started having some confusion on how to continue adding to the house. The downstairs was super easy. I was able to be like, okay, this is the new section, this is the old section, and then as I came upstairs, I was like, oh, what is this room? This is just kind of blank space right now. I don't know what to do with it. And so I decided to make it like a secondary living area, which is very, very nice. Considering they technically already have two others downstairs now, and then I had a bathroom in here. They do not have the toilet because they have the outhouse, but they do have the bathtub in here, which I thought was very nice. And then I was just sitting here for a while, just going back and forth, up and down. Okay, this will be the parents' room, this will be this. How do I cover up this big thing coming through the wall right now, the roof that was showing through? I did my best to cover it up, but I didn't do the greatest job of a cover-up because you can see it off the sides there. Then I was like, okay, now what? So it took me a while to figure it out. I did slowly get it working to more of like a study area almost, but it took like a lot of me going back and forth. I think I even had to switch to a different day at this point because I just had no ideas and it's like, okay, I'm tired, I need to get off for the night. We are moving on to the parents' room now. Now, whenever I first made the family, I was a lot more focused on the children than I was even the parents. But the idea is that the father is a farrier just like his daughter, and the mother just kind of stayed at home and took care of the children. And she never really got to go above and beyond with her cooking like she wanted to. She focused on the chickens and just maintaining being able to be in the house. She might go work at the castle sometimes, different things like that, or work for a noble family at times. Now, that being said, this was a fairly simplistic room. I mean, it's very nice with the fire and everything, but I kind of was going off the idea that the son made sure that they had this room in the new section. Here I am just adding in the different cracks and like splatters and just basically showing that this was the peasant home that they had before. Basically I went through, made it look a little bit dirtier, a little bit grimier, and then I went in and just started adding some finishing touches. Right here is, if you've seen the other videos that I've made, me going in with vines, which, as you are probably aware at this point, is what I love doing, and I do this for way too long and way too much. But let's go ahead and jump into live mode so we can see the finished product. Okay, so here we are in live mode with the lovely sim here. I don't actually know her, Cecilia. Cecilia, who I just moved in from a different residence, just decided she didn't live there anymore, honestly. That she lives here, in a medieval cottage. So let's go ahead and start on the tour. So you can see the outside here that I have the outhouse next to the tree, the barn with the little chickens right there, or sorry, the stables with the chickens right there. And I have a well here. Again, going off that idea that you see in a lot of the other areas where I purposely add a well in, so that way we can see we can use it with a mod in the game, and in the game we can have people go over and get water from that well. Alright, so let's go ahead and enter through the entrance here. So this is the entranceway here. It's also doubles as the dining area for them. I went ahead and made sure that there was a lot of different plants along the wall, that they use this area. I have a mod installed where they actually need to utilize this for hunting and foraging. This is not CC, this is from the game, but there's another bench that's a lot like it that's CC that I will use for the mod. Now going through here, we just have a little kind of hallway type of deal into the kitchen. Again, I mentioned that the kitchen is quite big, and I made it that way on purpose because the mother is supposed to really enjoy cooking. We head into this way. This is the old peasant house that they used to live in. I like to think that they were maybe already a little bit higher class even for peasants whenever they were peasants, just because they all had working jobs other than the mother. So it just grew exponentially whenever he became a knight. So we have this beautiful little area right here. This is where the kitchen used to be, is the idea. And then over here is the kind of living space area. Honestly, they had quite a bit of room compared to some of the houses that I've created for the peasants. Now in here is the knight's bedroom. This is where the knight would be and would work on his reading and writing, because I imagine he probably had to learn as a knight as he grew up, went up the ranks. They even have books here, but I like to imagine that's more of like a picture book thing, and maybe he taught his sister how to read. And here is the sister's bedroom. There's little telltale signs that she also wanted to be a knight, such as the swords on the wall and the little crest over by the table. But she is not a knight. And I like to imagine also that both of those bedrooms used to be filled with like one for the mom and dad, one for the siblings. Okay, and now we're gonna head up the stairs here. And this is the new section, so it looks a little nicer. There's a little bit of a not so great rug there, but for the most part, they have spent like a lot of time making it look nice. There's the banner. Maybe he got that as a knight, just as a general thing, maybe at an event or something. I don't know. I didn't really have a reason for why they had the banner of the kingdom there, but they do. Then here's the little bathtub area, so nice. They don't have to go swimming in the stream right next to them anymore for getting clean. And we head over this way into the parents' bedroom. And the parents' bedroom is just very nice and very, very pretty in comparison to the downstairs, especially. Like I said, I kind of feel like the son made sure that they were well off in this house. Now going around the back here, we have a little horse stables area where they can go running around barrels because she's a farrier, and I figure she probably has to actually train the horses. And then there is the clothing line and the laundry, and then Cecilia. And then we have a little fire pit as well. I also pictured this being the front door originally, but now it is the back door. They have 2 doors. They're very fancy. And then over here is the actual stables area. Now, I did try to make this look like this was actually originally a part of the build a little bit. It's meant to be a little bit more run down, kind of like in the other area, because the father was a farrier. Now, oh no. Okay, there we are. Now, the father is actually a farrier as well, so I wanted to make sure that this existed. I think I already said that. But what I actually mean to say is that there's a cat. They have a cat, so there is a cat. Like a little cat litter thing. Sorry, I don't have anything that will fit more the medieval scheme for the cat litter. And we have a little horse spot as well. Okay, so with that tour, that is the end of this. You will find this home under Nettle Cottage on the gallery under Dreamerblah is my name on the gallery. But my name is Matt Catter, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.